Well, we're very excited. It's a great milestone to have achieved. There's only 20 odd days to go, and we're about to launch the tickets on sale for the Big Bash League. It's an exciting time for the clubs involved, for Cricket Australia, and hopefully for the fans.
What's in store for the fans, do you think?
Oh, I think excitement. I think there's going to be lots of big hitting, but hopefully we're looking for close games, entertainment, and I think that's just involvement of the crowd in the games.
And we're hearing that this Bay 13 resurrection is going to be of some interest. What are your thoughts there?
I think the Stars are onto something there. I think that having a supported Bay where you have the most fanatical fans is always going to be very exciting, and I think it'll help pump the teams up that close to the field of play, get the fans involved in the game wherever we can.
Well, it was a few years ago now, but there was a ban for a reason. Cricket fans are known to get out of hand.
Yeah, I think that there was a ban put in place really to control the environment, to make sure that the fans were there, who were there for the game, were having a good time, and their day wasn't being disturbed by people who were there for different reasons, and I think that's the issue. And there's no change to the terms and conditions of entry to cricket this year, but we certainly want to make sure that we look at it and ascertain what's going on in the crowd, and just not get involved because a few people want to spoil others' day.
What about tickets? Where can you get tickets from, Mike?
Yeah, Ticketmaster and Ticket Tech in various cities, depending on the venue. So I think it's wherever you'd go for your tickets for a football match or a cricket match, any other form of the game.
Can I just clarify, what sort of behaviour won't be tolerated, do you think?
I think that the things that create a hazard. In the past, when people have done the wave, it started off quite safely. People were just getting excited, showing their enthusiasm. But when they started throwing things, we saw a large number of injuries. You had to be in the first aid rooms under the ground here at the MCG to see the damage that was being done to people by the objects that were being hurled into the air without any consideration for other safety. That's the sort of thing we're concerned about.
You're going to be walking a little bit of a tightrope there, because T20, probably more than the other two formats of the game, is really reaching out to the kids and growing the next generation of fans. But you certainly don't want antisocial behaviour with a lot of kids there.
Well, I think the issue really is making sure that people are all having a good time, and I think that's what T20 is about, but that's what cricket's about, and I think that the vast majority of people come to the game with that intention, and if that's their intention at the day, to have a good time, then that won't be an issue for us or the venue, or the police for that matter.
And the Melbourne Stars first home game, I think on the 17th, there'll be a lot of build up to that, but also the Melbourne Derby, and I think Melbourne has traditionally been the big crowd puller throughout the previous Big Bash. So those two are the really big games, and is it possible to put a figure on it? 40,000, 50,000? What can you aim for?
Yeah, I think we'd be very happy if we had a crowd of 40-odd thousand, as we did a few years ago when Victoria played Tasmania. This is going to be a big game with Warren playing, but with all the other stars that are playing in that game. But I think we've also seen big crowds at ANZ Stadium, where the Thunder's going to host the Sydney Sixers in their derby. And I think that right around the country we're going to see massive crowds. We've had sellouts generally at the Wacker, the Furnace, for their games. We've seen big crowds the last few years at the Saka. So I think that big crowds is going to be the rule for this competition.
Mike, can you just tell us a bit about the ticketing philosophy? It seems to be quite family friendly.
Yeah, well, certainly the intention is to make sure that price is not a barrier for people coming along to these games. In the middle of summer, to pay $20 for an adult and $5 for a child, $42.50 for a family to come into a game is great value, and we hope that people will take advantage of that and come and see really good cricket played by great cricket players at fantastic venues throughout the summer.
A few major signings last week, Mike. Are there any others in store before kick-off?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Some of them have been very exciting and surprising. The December the 9th is the cut-off. All teams have to finalise their squad, and we hope that there's a few more surprises in the wings, but gee, haven't we got some great players playing in the competition already.
And you must be pretty happy getting a potential AFL star over to cricket. That created a bit of noise late last week for the Renegades.
I've had a few. I think Mitch Marsh was touted as an early round draft pick in the AFL, and he's chosen to stay with cricket, as is Alex Keith here playing for the Stars. So I think it's going to be something that we see more of in the future. Cricket as a career path for a young athlete is a very good choice, and it's very lucrative for those players who can make it. Plenty of ways of becoming a star, both in traditional forms of the game and new forms of the game.